The door has been left open for people who illegally download movies or TV programmes from the internet after a ruling in the federal court. A landmark copyright challenge aimed at Perth-based iiNet has failed, with the court ruling that the internet service provider was not responsible for enforcing copyright on downloaded material. Reporter Adrian Rochella has the judgment. So, Adrian, this is big news for both the internet industry and for the studios.
Big news, Ros, for the internet industry in Australia and all the movie studios here. Essentially, what this means is that the internet industry can't be blamed for how its customers use the internet. Now, movie piracy is a huge issue. It has been a huge issue for quite some time, and the movie companies initially were taking individuals to court, and then they banded together to take not Telstra or Optus to court in Australia, but the third largest ISP, iiNet. But the judge today in the federal court decided that iiNet can't be blamed for the copyright infringement of its customers on the internet. Let's take a listen to what the key players thought about that ruling outside court this morning.
I think the best way for us to all stop the copyright violations, it doesn't help iiNet either, the best way to stop it is to make the material legitimately available for customers.
It's well recognised by government that it is a problem. We are confident that going forward, government policy will not be supporting an outcome which allows for the continued rampant and unaddressed infringements that are occurring across the internet.
So, Adrian, could you just give us a bit more background on what this case was all about?
Well, for about 5 months, the movie studios were investigating file sharing via iiNet's internet service provider, and they claimed that some of their big movies like Dark Knight, Happy Feet and The Simpsons were very popular amongst illegal file sharers and downloaders. Now, 34 studios, all the big studios in America, all the big studios in Australia and the Seven Network in Australia all got together to take this legal action against iiNet. iiNet argued that it can't be held responsible for what its customers use the internet for. It said that when it was notified of any copyright infringement, it would pass on those notifications to the federal police, which is the body that iiNet says is responsible for investigating and prosecuting copyright infringements. And the judge today found that this case is all about the authorisation of copyright infringement. Who authorises it? And he says that it's impossible to blame iiNet for what its customers do.
And briefly, Adrian, what are the implications of that ruling?
Well, look, this is being watched worldwide by the movie companies and the internet providers around the world. It's the first case of its kind to go to trial and judgment, so big implications for what this means in terms of who controls copyright over the internet and who is to blame. The movie industry says it's considering an appeal. In the meantime, for iiNet and the internet industry, it's business as usual.
Adrian, thank you.
Thanks, Ros.
Well, still at the courts, and the band Men at Work has lost a copyright case over the song Down Under. Larrikin Music had claimed that a flute riff from Down Under was stolen from the children's song Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree, and today the federal court agreed.
We say that in the song there's at least half of Kookaburra distributed throughout various parts of the song and repeated various times, and it's now being supported by this judge.
Larrikin owns the copyright and wants compensation from Down Under songwriters Colin Hay and Ron Strykert. They're seeking up to 60% of the royalties.